Hello and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Australian Grand Prix. We did this last year, we'll continue this year. Ratings 1 to 10, all 20 drivers covered. It's a dominant display by Valtteri Bottas to win the opening race of the 2019 season. And in we go. So 1 is awful, 0 and 1 is awful, 10 is phenomenal. 10's the best rating you can get. And in we go, all 20 drivers covered. Here we go. We'll start with a Danishman, Kevin Magnussen. I'll give him 9 out of 10. Very, very good. Haas just seemed to light up the Albert Park. I mean, he's great. 7th place in qualifying, best of the rest in the race. You got to give Kevin Magnussen a 9. Romain Grosjean, 7 out of 10. Best of the rest in qualifying. He retires in the race, not his fault, but yeah, you can't give someone like any more. He retired from the race, so yeah, great performance in qualifying by the Frenchman. He would have got points in the race, but retires. On to the Finnish superstar, Valtteri Bottas, 10 out of 10. If he drives like that, he can fight for the World Championship, but we'll see in Bahrain how his performance is. He was absolutely sensational from lap 1. Straight away jumps Hamilton and then leads the whole race. Dominates, just pulls away. Beats Lewis Hamilton by 25 seconds. Fastest lap, driver of the day. It doesn't get any better for Valtteri Bottas. All them days at home in the off-season, and he comes back with a victory. He would have been thinking about last season not winning a race, and straight away he shut the doubters up and he's won a race. Lewis Hamilton, now you know I'm a Hamilton fan, but I've marked him down. There's no favouritism on these driver ratings. I give what I see. Lewis Hamilton, 7 out of 10. He got pole position, phenomenal. Bottas looked like he had the lap. Hamilton, superb lap as usual. He's the all-time pole holder for a reason. But in the race, taken to school. I mean, Bottas beat him fair and square, 25 seconds. He didn't get a good start, poor start. Bottas jumped him, and then Bottas controlled the race and dominated it. So yeah, Hamilton taken to school by Bottas. That's all you can say. Ferrari boys, Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc, both 6 out of 10. Very, very disappointing weekend for Scuderia Ferrari. All the hype, they're going to dominate qualifying, they're going to dominate. After what I saw in testing, I was sure Ferrari were going to dominate. And 4th and 5th in the race. I mean, Vettel gets 3rd in qualifying, Leclerc 5th, and then 4th and 5th in the race. I mean, that's not good enough. A horror show. And to apply team orders in the first race is disgraceful. That makes me sick, honestly. On to the Dutchman, Max, 9 out of 10. Solid weekend, podium with a new Honda engine. He qualifies 4th, he finishes 3rd. What a start to the regime with a new engine. And put a great move on Vettel in the race. Was all over Hamilton, should have probably had Hamilton. But yeah, it's P3 for the Dutchman. On to his French teammate, Pierre Gasly, 2 out of 10. And that is the worst mark out of all drivers this week. Horrible debut for Red Bull. He's already under pressure. He's crashed twice in testing. He qualifies 17th and doesn't get in the points in the race. Okay, you could argue he had a good drive in the race, but he should be in the points in the machinery he has. Yes, Albert Park's tough to overtake, but horrible weekend. Daniel Ricciardo, 4 out of 10. Wow. What a tough weekend for the Australian. 12th in qualifying. Retired after, basically, he's touched the grass. There's a grate there. He's broke his front wing and his race is basically over. He later retires. A tough race. Tough debut for his new team, especially when Hulkenberg's 7th, so he would have easily got points. Hulkenberg, 8 out of 10, Mr. Consistent once again. I mean, 7th place, he just seems to finish 7th all the time. He is Ricardo will have his work cut out with Hulkenberg. He's a terrific driver. Sergio Perez, 5 out of 10. Perez's highlight of the weekend was his qualifying P10. In the race, he finishes 13th. Yeah, wow. Lance Stroll, 9 out of 10. The Canadian, is he just... What a performance by Lance Stroll. Everyone says he's in the sport because of his money, including me. He has to go and prove he's talented, and he's done that. I mean, he had a bad qualifying, 16th, and he's ended up finishing 9th. Basically, what happened was Giovinazzi was a train for everyone. Stroll was one of the guys who stayed out, and he basically gained a load of places by doing that. So, sensational by Stroll. Alexander Albon, 3 out of 10. Now, I've not got much written down for Albon. I mean, maybe that's a bit harsh, actually. I mean, it's his debut. Nah, we'll give him 4. We'll give him 4. Seeing it's his debut, it's his first race. He didn't make any mistakes. 13th in qualifying. Where did he get in the race? 14th. I suppose we'll give him 4. He didn't make any mistakes. He got through it, but yeah, on to the next one for Albon. Danny Kvyat, the return of the torpedo, 8 out of 10. Sensational in the race. Got his bollocks out. Held off Gasly, who's in the faster car. He's on faster tyres. Dived down the inside of Lance Stroll. Ended up in the gravel. Caught Lance Stroll back up. Kvyat had an exciting race after a bad qualifying. Lando Norris, 8 out of 10. The star of qualifying on his debut weekend. Never driven the circuit. Only driven it on the sim. And he was really good, Lando Norris. Out of all the rookies, he was the best. Because qualifying to get P8 was phenomenal. But his race was ruined when he got stuck behind Giovinazzi. He stuck behind Giovinazzi for about a couple of laps, lap after lap. And then he gets jumped by all the others. So, bit disappointing for Norris. Because he was running in the points. I'm pretty sure he would have been in the points if he didn't get stuck behind Giovinazzi. Maybe that's a learning curve for him, that he needs to get them overtakes done early. Carlos Sainz, the Spaniard, 3 out of 10. Tough weekend. Blocked by Kubica in qualifying, although it wasn't his fault. I mean, he qualified 18th and then retired. So, it's got to be 3. Horrible weekend for Sainz. Robert Kubica, 3 out of 10. Again, I love Kubica. This hurts. This really hurts to watch him last in qualifying, last in the race. We know his talent, but the Williams car is one of the worst F1 cars I've seen in a while. Pace, horrible. Kubica last in quali, last in the race. Literally, his race, he was running round as if it was a test session. I mean, he damaged his front wing on the first lap, and his race was over. It was horrible. It was painful. Now, George Russell, I've got to give George Russell 6, because you can only judge George Russell. Williams are 19th and 20th. Russell has beat Kubica, his more experienced teammate. He's beat him in qualifying and the race. It's his rookie race, his first race for Williams. He's not made any mistakes. The best Russell can get is 19th, and he's done that. So you've got to mark him highly. Kimi Raikkonen, 8 out of 10. His return to Alfa Romeo, and 9th in qualifying, 8th in the race. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, I've got my notes here, because remembering all this off the top of my head would be tough. But yeah, solid weekend, solid return for the Iceman, and that was it. Giovinazzi, 3 out of 10. 14th in qualifying, 15th in the race. He did well to hold off Norris. He very aggressive defending. He did well defending, but that was about the highlight. So there we have it, all 20 drivers covered. Who scored highly? Valtteri Bottas, Kevin Magnussen, Max. Who scored low? We've got Gasly with the worst mark, Giovinazzi, Kubica. So there we have it. We'll have a quick rundown. Kevin Magnussen 9, Grosjean 7, Bottas 10, Hamilton 7, Vettel, Leclerc 6, Max 9, Gasly 2, Ricciardo 4, Hulkenberg 8, Perez 5, Stroll 9, Albon 3 it says here, but I did give him 4, didn't I? So Albon 4, Kvyat 8, Norris 8, Sainz 3, Kubica 3, Russell 6, Kimi Räikkönen 8, Giovinazzi 3. And there we have it. Driver ratings done. Qualifying reaction, race reaction, driver ratings done. Leave your comments, we'll always reply. And on we go. 2 weeks time, Bahrain, we will be doing the same. Qualifying reaction, race reaction, driver ratings. All 20 drivers covered. I'll see you next time. Adios!